I'm Edward, a 44-year-old staff sergeant in the 82nd Airborne. What happens when you're thousands of miles away, fighting for your country, and an email changes everything? My wife, Charlotte, drained our accounts, moved her boyfriend into our Boise home, and sent me divorce papers. How far would you go to uncover the truth? This is my story of betrayal, secrets, and a fight for what's mine. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. The divorce papers arrived in my inbox as I stood alone in the desert. 13 years of love, now reduced to a single PDF. I'm Edward, 44, a staff sergeant in the 82nd Airborne. 4 months in Helmand, and Charlotte had reached her limit. The subject line said, "Let's handle this like grown-ups." It was a brief message, just 3 sentences, but it carried a weight that lingered long after. She had taken the plunge, the paperwork already submitted. She had drained our shared account dry. She had brought her new boyfriend, Oliver, into our home in Boise. I read the email again and again. Shut the lid. Silence fell. Stood alone in the communal stall, water cascading down, thoughts swirling. Put on my uniform, ready for the day ahead. Silence enveloped everything. Returning to my bunk that night, I answered with a single word. Got it. It was over. Absolutely no debate, no pleading, none to fear. George, my bunkmate, sensed the unease in the air. "You all right, man?" he inquired, eyes glued to the pages. Absolutely, I did. Just a few things from home. He nodded, sealing their fate in silence. Soldiers understand the power of silence. I saw it coming. 6 months before deployment, everything shifted. Little moments. Charlotte no longer inquired about my day. She began her late shift at the dental office, answering phones with a mix of urgency and focus. I hit the gym 3 times a week, yet the sweat never came. Fresh threads. Friends I've yet to encounter. Fresh secrets locked away on her phone. I held back, refrained from probing her messages or shadowing her steps. I'm not that person. But I wasn't oblivious, so I took my own subtle steps. Just a few careful steps, nothing more. I locked away crucial documents in a distant storage unit. Birth certificate, marriage license, house deed solely in my name from the VA loan, military benefits documents. I placed my grandfather's watch beside my mom's old silver, a moment heavy with memories. What truly mattered. I opened a new account at another bank, funneling a portion of my paycheck there. Just a whisper of preparation, enough to keep me from hitting rock bottom if everything crumbled. The night before I left, she held me tight at the airport and whispered, "Stay safe, okay?" Her eyes were empty. A farewell meant for a colleague, not for a husband marching into battle. I should have seen it, yet a flicker of hope lingered within me. No, I wasn't. She had no idea I was ready for this, and she couldn't grasp that I never initiate conflict. Yet I always see them through to the end. It was 2010 when I first laid eyes on Charlotte at a friend's barbecue. Home between tours, I crashed with my buddy Henry in Boise. She dreamed of nursing, yet found herself behind a desk at a dental practice. "Fewer burdens," she whispered. 8 months later, we said, "I do." Charlotte claimed pride in my service, yet she never truly grasped its depth. Her father managed money. Her brother dispensed hope. She had no military ties. She'd question when I'd find a real job, unaware that after 15 years, the Army was my life, not merely a way to pass the time. In 2014, we found our home. Simple, yet it belonged to us. 3 bedrooms, a tiny yard, and a peaceful neighborhood await. My name alone was on the mortgage, the VA loan in my name, yet I added her to the deed. Because that's what love demands, sharing everything. My dad passed away just a year after our wedding. A heart attack struck him while he was shoveling snow. 3 years later, my mom was gone, taken by lung cancer, despite never having smoked a single day. They left me money, just enough for Charlotte and me to clear her student loans and still have a little safety net. 4 deployments marked our marriage, twice to Iraq, twice to Afghanistan. Every time I returned, Charlotte felt further away, more unsettled, as if she were trapped in a part she no longer fit. I never agreed to this life, she said, her voice trembling, after I hinted at re-enlisting for another 4 years. Loneliness weighs heavy on my heart. I got it, I really did. But the Army was the only place I ever felt I truly belonged. I excelled at my job. They relied on me completely. In 2019, everything began to shift, tiny details at first. Charlotte snapped when I interrupted her girls' night. She ranted about Emma's divorce, how she was thriving now, and threw in barbs about our fading connection. I recommended therapy. She claimed we were okay, merely navigating a storm. Late nights at work blurred into weekends with strangers, new clothes piled high, and a gym membership collecting dust. I should have faced her. That's not my way. Not once. My dad instilled in me the power of pause, the weight of certainty before every word and action. I watched and prepared in silence, my gut screaming that something was on the horizon. In this life, you must learn to trust your instincts. 2 weeks post-divorce email. I sat in the mess hall, phone buzzing in my pocket. A sudden alert from our bank app. Another withdrawal. $8,500. Nearly all that's left. I paused, fork resting on the plate, and unlocked the app. The joint account balance had plummeted to $212.37. All our savings, $47,000 painstakingly saved over the years, vanished without a trace, moved to an account I didn't even know existed. Carter, a fellow soldier, shot me a quick look. Is it bad news? I secured my phone. No, it's just some account matters. That night, I dialed the bank from the base phone center. Charlotte had been shifting money for weeks, small amounts at first, then escalating to larger sums. The moment I deployed, the big transfers began. I hung up, frozen in the hallway, surrounded by laughter as men called out to their kids, wives, and parents. Life thrived around me as my world turned to ash. That's when George discovered me. Martinez mentioned you appeared haunted at dinner. Hey there. I rarely open up, but George once rescued me from a dire moment in Helmand. I believed in him. My wife drained our accounts and brought her boyfriend into our home, I said. Received divorce papers during my patrol last week. George cut through the noise. No, I can't. That's painful. You'll discover someone who truly deserves you. He leaned in, eyes piercing, and asked, "What's your plan?" "I'm still uncertain," I replied. He nodded, a silent agreement heavy with unspoken weight. "I'm here if you need anything." Sleep eluded me that night. I opened my laptop and accessed our home security system, a detail Charlotte likely overlooked. A mysterious truck sat in our driveway. A stranger walked our dog, sipping from my coffee mug, clad in my Broncos sweatshirt. Charlotte laughed in the kitchen, a space I had transformed with my own hands during my last leave. A change ignited within me. Not anger, but something sharper, more precise. I shut the laptop, grabbed my phone, and started a list. Contact William, my Army friend turned lawyer. Review the VA loan terms carefully. Reach out to Master Sergeant regarding urgent leave. Examine the home refinance documents. A fleeting thought from Charlotte last year that lingers now. Verify the security of my military pension accounts. Sadness had vanished from my heart. I felt nothing at all. I was laser-focused, as if orchestrating a daring mission. This was no longer about feelings. This was a battle of wits. At 0500, just before my shift began, I shot off an email to William. Subject: urgent legal help needed. Discreet. His response arrived an hour later. Reach out, but only on a secure line. As soon as I ended that call, clarity struck. I had a mission. I shouldn't have raised my voice. No threats were necessary. No confrontation was necessary. I only had to stand back, observe, and allow her choices to ensnare her. 2 months later, I stood once more on American soil. I arrived in Boise without a word to Charlotte. No calls, no texts. I slipped into a motel under an alias and reached out to William. Our paths crossed at a diner, 10 miles from the heart of town. "You look like hell," he said, sliding into the booth. "I feel it too," I said. William thrust a folder into my hands, packed with everything we talked about: the house deed, loan papers, bank statements, and this. He revealed another sheet. "I uncovered something intriguing while exploring your finances. It was a refinance application bearing my signature, but it wasn't truly mine, not entirely. Someone attempted to replicate it, but crucial details slipped away. The middle initial was off, and the stroke pattern felt foreign." "Charlotte did this?" I asked, the truth hanging heavy in the air. William nodded, a silent agreement hanging heavy in the air. 3 months passed. "Withdraw $30,000 from the equity. Your signature is needed, as the VA loan is solely in your name. Sign my name. Secure a loan on our home. Drain our accounts, and leave me," I demanded, overwhelmed by the weight of endless tasks. "It gets better," William whispered, hope flickering in his eyes. "She named her boyfriend as a co-applicant. He carries a past, 2 DUIs and a fraud charge haunting since 2019. I inhaled sharply. "What choices do I have?" "Several," William whispered, his voice trembling with urgency. "First, you must confront your desires." I lingered on it. "I demand what is rightfully mine, and I need her to grasp the weight of her actions." William grinned, a flicker of something deeper in his eyes. "Here's the plan." The following day, I passed by our home. His truck had vanished, yet Charlotte's car remained, a haunting reminder. I parked down the street, heart racing, contemplating the door. Should I confront her? The tension hung thick in the air. Yet, it all unraveled. I drove to the bank, confronted the loan officer who handled my refinance. I presented my military ID, revealed the real signature on my driver's license, and exposed the forged documents. His face drained of color. "This must be reported right away." "I get it," I replied. "The police report is already filed." That night, a message from Charlotte pierced the silence. "Whom have you spoken with at the bank?" Oliver revealed that someone was probing for answers. I stayed silent. The following day, I stormed into the county clerk's office, contesting the refinance for fraud, demanding that no changes to the property occur without me there. Charlotte called 2 days later. I ignored the call, letting it slip into silence. "Edward, we have to discuss something important." The bank reached out regarding the house. "What's happening right now?" "If this concerns the divorce, let's talk about it maturely," as if we were grown-ups. Her email echoed with the same words. I remained silent. William called that afternoon, and everything changed. The refinance money is frozen, and that's just the beginning. Your wife's boyfriend has been behind the wheel of your truck, hasn't he? The one that bears your name? Absolutely. This morning, he was stopped, caught driving on a suspended license from those DUIs. The vehicle was seized. It's good, I whispered. His truck held secrets that whispered of untold stories, prescription pads from Charlotte's dental office. They held secrets. I shut my eyes tight. She's been taking prescription pads? It seems so. The police are on the case. I hung up, heart racing, and perched on the edge of the motel bed. This was spiraling beyond my wildest dreams. A part of me ached to call Charlotte, to warn her. Familiar chains. Then it hit me. The security camera footage. My home, my companion, my existence. Discarded as if it held no value. This was the path now. There was no way back, and truthfully, I craved the forward plunge. The next morning, I faced the bank fraud investigator, Harris, a name that echoes with weight. A weary man, small in stature, with exhausted eyes and a coffee-stained tie. This occurs more frequently than you might imagine, he murmured, scattering papers across his desk. Beloved leaves for duty. One partner spots a chance. What comes next? I inquired. The funds from the fraudulent refinance are frozen, but a problem looms. Part of the money has vanished. What's the cost? Approximately $14,600. I leaned in. Where has it vanished? Harris paused, heart racing. I can't reveal that. This is my home. My name is a weapon. Stolen. My money gone. He nodded, a slow, deliberate motion, then pivoted his computer screen to face me. Transfers have left the refinance account. I scanned the list, heart racing. Countless transfers to a man named Thomas Bennett. It can't be Oliver. A stranger, unknown to me. Who is Thomas Bennett? I pleaded. Harris's shoulders lifted, a silent resignation in his eyes. This isn't my area, but you need to get your lawyer to subpoena those records. I dialed William the moment I stepped out of the bank. Thomas Bennett, he whispered again. I'll check it now. He called back an hour later. Understood. Thomas Bennett navigates the high-stakes world of real estate. Masters of swift transactions, cash in hand. She intended to sell our home, I revealed. The truth struck me hard, leaving me breathless. Seems that way. The deposits were likely a desperate push to ignite his action on the listing. But this is where it truly captivates. Bennett and Oliver Hughes share a past in business. Oliver Hughes is your wife's boyfriend. Yes. In just 2 years, they sealed 3 deals together. I sank onto the park bench, grappling with the weight of it all. This was more than just Charlotte choosing another man over me. Was this all part of the plan? Perhaps, William replied, his voice laced with uncertainty. I uncovered some startling truths about Oliver Hughes. He follows a relentless rhythm, engages with women facing the turmoil of divorce or the absence of deployed partners. I've uncovered 3 cases. Every time, the woman's home is sold for a pittance, slipping into the hands of one of Bennett's clients. Hughes bleeds, and just like that, he leaves. What about Charlotte? Did she really know about this? It's a struggle to find the words. Perhaps she suffers as well. Or perhaps she's part of the scheme. I pressed my palms against my skin. It had become so much more than Charlotte's betrayal. This was monumental, a chilling precision. Other military families had suffered too. What now? I asked, my heart racing. I've reached out to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division, William said, urgency lacing his voice. This spans states, entangles military members, and touches on VA loans. They care deeply. That night, I sat alone in my motel room, a beer in hand, lost in thought. Was Charlotte deceiving me all along, or had she fallen victim to Oliver's plot? Questioning if it truly held significance. The phone buzzed, jolting me from my thoughts. Charlotte, once more. Edward, I need you to call me. The bank claims fraud, and now Oliver's in handcuffs for driving your truck. I can't grasp what's going on. The message held my gaze, time slipping away. Then I typed, "Who is Thomas Bennett?" 3 dots flickered on the screen, hesitated, then flickered again, then paused once more. In the end, I'm lost in your words. $14,600, I scribbled down. Endless transitions. Property for sale. Silence stretches for 10 agonizing minutes. It's not what you imagine. I switched off my phone and slipped into bed, the silence enveloping me. The following morning, William reached out. The FBI is requesting a meeting. Months of relentless investigation into Hughes and Bennett have unfolded. You may not be the first, but you could be the one to shatter the silence. For the first time since that divorce email, a flicker of satisfaction ignited within me. Not due to the end of my marriage, but because the truth was finally surfacing. I faced the FBI agents in their Boise field office, Patel and Donovan. They captured my words, collecting every document William and I had painstakingly assembled. Agent Patel revealed, "Your case reveals a pattern, showcasing intent and organization, transforming it into a conspiracy instead of mere isolated incidents." "What happened to Charlotte?" I pleaded. "My wife, my ex-wife." The agents locked eyes, a silent storm brewing between them. "We're still figuring out how deep her involvement goes," Donovan said, his voice measured. "Did she ever reveal her struggles with money? Is there a looming urgency to sell the house?" I reflected deeply. She insisted we were drowning in our home, urging me to let it go. I couldn't understand why. My salary kept our mortgage payments within reach. Patel jotted it down. When did it all begin? About 6 months ago, just when she likely crossed paths with Oliver. "What about the refinance?" Donovan questioned. "It was never brought up with me." "She betrayed me, signing my name while I was away." They probed deeper, scribbling furiously. As we wrapped up, Patel pressed her card into my hand. "We'll reach out soon. For now, hold back from confronting your wife or Hughes. We must construct this case with precision." I nodded, heart racing. "Got it." That evening, I returned to our neighborhood, parking just down the street from our home. Oliver's truck returned, pulled from the depths of impound. Charlotte's car vanished. The phone buzzed, jolting me from my thoughts. Message from Charlotte. "We must meet face to face. I'll be waiting for you at Julia Davis Park tomorrow. Cale, a legacy of pain and hope." At breakfast the next day, I revealed the text to William. "Stay," he pleaded. "Talking to her now will only lead to pain." "I refuse," I declared. "I need to know what she's up to today, believing I'm on my way to meet her." We arrived at our house at 9:30 a.m., parking just across the street. At 9:45, Charlotte emerged, slipped into her car, and sped off, bound for Julia Davis Park. "What comes next?" William inquired. "We wait," I whispered. A car arrived 20 minutes later. Logo of the real estate agent etched on the door. "Thomas Bennett." Oliver stepped forward, anticipation crackling in the air. Words exchanged in the driveway, Then silence enveloped them indoors. "Do we dare to follow them?" William inquired. I couldn't believe it. Not necessary. Last year, I set up security cameras, both inside and out. They send it to the cloud. William grinned, a flicker of hope igniting within him. "You never said that earlier." "It never crossed my mind," I replied, as I fished my phone from my pocket. I opened the security app, tilting the screen for William to catch a glimpse. Bennett and Oliver stood in our living room, tension thick in the air. Bennett captured fleeting moments. Oliver's finger traced the house's secrets, each detail a whisper of its past. I cranked the volume higher. Bennett insisted it would be listed by week's end. A buyer is already interested, always a cash offer. "What's the price?" Oliver inquired. $420? We ask for $470. They counter with $420. A win for all. What of the husband? Charlotte claims he's stirring up chaos. Bennett brushed it off, a flicker of disdain in his eyes. All military men blend into one shadow. They create a ruckus, yet bear the weight of duty and deployment. He'll accept the settlement to escape it all. I faced William. "Are you receiving this?" He had his phone out, capturing every moment. Each word carries weight. I sent the security feed access to Agent Patel, along with a brief note, unfolding before us. Half an hour later, FBI vehicles encircled our home. I stood frozen, heart racing, as agents marched Bennett and Oliver away in handcuffs. The phone rang. Agent Patel. She revealed they were caught on tape plotting the fraud scheme. Conspiracy brews, wire fraud, lurks, and deceitful property sales unfold. A formal statement is required from you. "Absolutely," I replied. "What about Mr. Turner?" "Your wife is here, and everything changes. She's in turmoil." I gazed down the street. Charlotte stood frozen on our lawn, hands clasped over her mouth, eyes wide as FBI agents emerged, burdened with boxes of our lives. "What will become of her?" I pleaded. "It all hinges on that," Patel replied, "based on her knowledge and on your desires." I stared at Charlotte, lost in thought. 13 years together. Bright days, once upon a time, before it all changed forever. "I only want what's right," I finally declared. The federal case raced forward. Oliver and Bennett struck plea deals, betraying one another, and a web of conspirators in a shocking 3-state scheme aimed at military families. Charlotte insisted she was oblivious to the grander plot. Oliver's words twisted her mind, making her believe I was hoarding money, plotting to abandon her with nothing. He claimed the refinance was his brainchild. She had simply surrendered to it. Perhaps it was real. Perhaps it never was. In the end, she chose to settle. Complete return of the stolen money. Giving up all rights to the house and my military pension. A confession, inked in desperation, reveals the truth of the forgery. I chose silence over justice. 6 months after that email from Helmand, the divorce was final. No blame. Shattered ties. In the end, everything matters. As the final paperwork was signed, Agent Patel's call pierced the silence. Today, Oliver Hughes received his sentence. 8 years for betrayal, deception, and stolen identities. Bennett scored 12. "I thought you should know." "Thank you," I whispered. She paused, then whispered, "There's something else." We uncovered proof of their betrayal against 11 other military families. Your case shaped our understanding. Your actions could restore hope for those families. Once the call ended, I lingered on the porch of my rental, eyes fixed on the dying light of the sunset. Haunted by thoughts of those other families, men returned from war, believing in the safety of their homes and marriages, only to find them hollow and abandoned. Bringing down Oliver and Bennett's operation was never in my plans. All I craved was what belonged to me. Yet occasionally, life unfolds in the most surprising ways. A buzz from my phone shattered the silence. Message from Charlotte. I never wanted it to come to this. I stayed silent. Silence hung heavy between them. A year later, I let it go. Life had become unbearable. Memories flood in, overwhelming and relentless. Betrayal lurks in every corner of those walls. I spent the money on a tiny cabin near Bozeman, Montana. 2 rooms, each holding secrets. 10 acres, a world of possibility. A creek flows silently behind it. Silence stretches endlessly. I left the Army behind, embracing a new chapter of life. 2 decades was all it took. I had sacrificed all I could. I have a dog now, Rover, the German Shepherd, begun crafting wood for the community. Simple, yet it occupied my hands and kept the lights on. The military pension filled the gaps, securing my future. Charlotte crossed my mind, hauntingly vivid. Wondered where she had gone. William learned she was back in her Idaho hometown, at a different dental office now, beginning anew, I suppose. I no longer felt hatred for her. I felt nothing for her, to be honest. She had chosen her path. So had I. One evening, a letter arrived from a woman in Norfolk. Her husband served in the Navy, activated the moment Oliver and Bennett attempted their deceit against her. The FBI had revealed my name to her, entwined in the case's dark web. "You have no idea who I am," she wrote. "You saved our home. Your courage to stand firm when walking away was an option means everything." I read it twice, then pressed it to my refrigerator. On days when silence screamed and memories cut deep, I'd gaze at that letter, a reminder that something beautiful emerged from the chaos. Last I heard, Oliver remained behind bars. Bennett as well. For once, the system delivered. I was forging ahead, seeking my path. Each day unfolds in silence, creating the extraordinary. A treasure beyond theft, beyond deceit, unbreakable. Something that belonged solely to me. Thanks for watching this story on Addy's Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.